Mr. Beast, the #1 YouTuber. Have you heard what he's been doing with a little project he's been working on in recent years?
Is that I usually hear he did the vision one that was big and then the hearing one.
That was his most recent stunt, was getting hearing aids for 1,000 deaf people.
Yeah.
So he helped them out with that. Although every time Mr. Beast does something like that, there's also people that say that he shouldn't for some reason.
I know. He must have a difficult time because no matter what he does, it's neither good or there's a lot of people that love him, obviously, but there's always people that just hate him.
What is that saying, that no good deed goes unpunished?
Maybe.
That's Mr. Beast feels like he lives that, because think of the nicest thing you could think of to do, and somebody would say that you shouldn't do it.
People having a problem with it.
But so here's another thing that I think is nice that he's doing, and that is going back to 2018. He has started a project where he has bought up every house in a neighborhood in Greenville, North Carolina, where he grew up.
Yeah.
And his intention is he's got every house on one street. It's 5 houses except for one. And he wants to have his family and all his employees, or at least many of his employees for the YouTube channel, all live there on that street together.
Oh, in the houses?
Yeah.
Well, that's good, but you're never leaving work. So.
I know.
Yeah.
It does sound like it's super
It's a
nice,
trap.
right? It is super nice, but it's also like a little, I can see why people would be uncomfortable with it. But then again, if you're working for him, hopefully you like him.
Maybe you
hopefully
get the
you
house
wouldn't
for
mind
free.
being down the road from him.
That could be good.
That's what I'm assuming, right?
That's if you get fired.
Wow.
You're out.
Yeah, where do you go to
If you
live?
want to quit,
That
you're
would
out.
that would be very awkward
You
if
can-
not if you stayed in the neighborhood.
You can never quit your job, or
Yeah.
you have to also quit your house.
Well, you can go home, but you can never leave.
yeah.
Well, people are excited because it's modest homes. Because obviously this guy has like $54 million, probably more than that. So he could be living in something more extravagant. But the fact that he is spending his money wisely is also something I'm sure people are mad about. To everybody else, it actually seems very nice. And it's in an area that he grew up in, so it helps that area.
He says, apparently his intention is to buy that last house on the street as well, but the owners of that last home are holding out.
Oh, really?
And according to one of the
more.
neighbors that already sold their house to Mr. Beast, he says that he thinks it's because they have kids in school and it's the best school district in the area.
So they have to wait
and so
it
they're
out.
at least holding out until their kids are out of school, which, I mean, who knows how old their kids are. But also, I mean, it sounds like I'm assuming also that Mr. Beast is paying a fair amount above market value because he has a special interest in these homes.
Sure, it's probably good
Which does make
security.
it sound like he's a villain, but it's just,
It does.
It's just where he grew up.
It's probably smart for security-wise because then wherever he and a lot of the employees are at, they're all in one area. You can keep that area safer compared to if everybody's spread out.
That
All
could
right.
be.
Do we want a Radio U Boulevard or a...
See? That's
No.
where I don't know if I want you guys to be my neighbors.
I know. I don't want to. I don't think it's probably
But
the
then again,
I for
smartest.
sure don't.
I do want you to pay for my house. So
It's a quandary, isn't it?
yeah, it really is.
I can't imagine, no matter how much money I ever have, I would never do this.
You would never?
I would never share it.
So if your employer gave you a house, you
Yes.
would say no.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if I was Mr. Beast and I had $54 million, I would be like, who wants some money? No
I know what I
chance.
do. I've got the perfect loophole. Mr. Beast, he bought you. You know, you're working on Mr. Beast Street. You
Actually, what a great show that would be.
all the money you save on not having to pay a mortgage, you Airbnb the Mr. Beast house.
That's great.
And then you
Smart
get a
idea.
regular house somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you could Airbnb a house that's a neighbor to Mr. Beast. Think about all the money you'd make.
And it's smart because just envision if, 10 or 20 years from now, things change in the Mr. Beast world and you want to break up the community.
Yeah.
You could just give away the houses as some big, huge promotion.
Oh, true.
So you could get a lot of money that way.
Boom. It's all perfect.
If you think about it, it's actually pretty smart.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.